football fans, it's the Football Wife. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the NFL Draft. This year's draft kicks off this coming Thursday, live from New York's Radio City Music Hall. So let's talk about some NFL Draft basics. Every year, the NFL Draft takes place in late April. The draft is the time when NFL teams pick players from college that they'd like to have come play on their team. Now, the draft consists of 7 rounds that take place over 3 days. This year, round 1 is on Thursday, rounds 2 and 3 are on Friday, and rounds 4 through 7 take place on Saturday. Now, within each round, there are 32 picks, which is equal to the number of teams in the NFL. However, that does not mean that every team has equal picks in each round. Let's take a look at why that is. Each year, the draft order is determined based on how the teams finished in the previous year. So the New York Giants won the Super Bowl last year, so they have the last pick in every round. So in the first round, they have pick 32. The New England Patriots lost the Super Bowl, so they have pick 31. Now the Indianapolis Colts had the worst record in all of football, so they have the first pick. So you can see the worst teams pick first, the average teams pick in the middle, and the best teams pick at the end of the round. This helps to ensure competitive balance throughout the teams in the league. I've arranged my collection of mini helmets into the order of the first round of this year's draft, just to make it easy to see where each team is in the order. So every team would have 1 pick in each round, but due to trades, they often don't end up that way. Just to add a visual, I have turned around the helmets of the teams who traded away their first round picks. For example, Atlanta would have had the 22nd pick, but in 2011, they were slated to pick in the late first round, but they really wanted to pick in the early first round. So they packaged multiple picks into an offer to make a trade with the Browns. So the Browns get 2 picks in the first round of this year, and Atlanta will have to wait until Friday to make a pick. There are also 32 compensatory picks spread out through rounds 3 through 7. These picks go to teams who lost more free agents during the previous year's free agency period than they gained. As you guys know, I always like to provide my awesome viewers with a few tips and insights that most fans won't know, so you guys can go out and impress people with your knowledge. So here are a few thoughts on the NFL Draft. The NFL Draft is broadcast from New York City, and that's where Commissioner Goodell is announcing the picks. But the real action is actually happening at the team headquarters around the country. That's where the coach, the GM, most of the people making the decisions are actually at their facility in the war room. They send to New York, maybe somebody from marketing, one of the equipment guys, one of the owner's buddies, and basically the guys in New York are just sitting there on the other end of the phone waiting for the guys back at headquarters to call and say, we want to pick this guy. Another interesting aspect of the process of the draft is how the players actually find out that they're being drafted. Most players already know that they're being selected before the commissioner calls their name. So, once a team at the headquarters decides who they're going to draft, they get on the phone with the guys in New York. The guys in New York write down the name and then they submit it. So while that's all happening, the coach or the GM will get on the phone with the player they want to draft. They'll tell the guy how excited they are to have him come, make sure he's still excited, make sure he's not injured, and really hype him up. So you'll see that a lot of the players already know that they're going to be drafted before their name is called. Each year, there are thousands of football players whose college careers are over, and no more than 256 of them get drafted. So what happens to the rest of them? Well, the moment that the draft is over, all players who are draft eligible who weren't drafted become free agents. This means that they're available to be signed by any team that will have them. So as soon as the draft ends, there's a mad dash of teams calling players and trying to scoop up all the best players that weren't drafted. So it's pretty amazing that it takes 3 days and 7 rounds to draft 256 players, and then in a matter of hours, over 300 players will be assigned to NFL teams. Well, I hope you guys enjoy watching the draft this weekend. Feel free to comment on this video if you have any questions, and I look forward to coming back to you again soon. Thanks for watching.